Squirtle, squirrel, 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 squirrels.
Welcome back to Squelch the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
Aloha. I'm Matt at Arms.
Aloha? Aloha? That's not how this opener goes, Matt. That's not allowed. There's very specific things that very specific people say. Now, if you're just saying aloha, then am I saying buongiorno? I don't know, Matt. You've thrown us into chaos. All of Orlais will never recover from this.
Really feel like you need to end the podcast. Aloha, I'm Matt at Arms as well, because there's no aloha, both hello and goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, actually, yes. I'm putting that at the end of the show.
Oh,
You're welcome.
I hate
That's a
it.
gift
But
from
I'm
me to
Storm
you.
Rage, and we're here to remind you that podcasts have structure, and when you follow that structure, it's better for everybody. And also, Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, they are good. They're fun. This game is fun as well. Hey, this week we are playing Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. It's one of those quests where you finish it and you're like, yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. A lot this week. Next week, do whatever you want. I'm not your mom. After that, we're playing What Pride Has Wrought, which will kick off the end of the game. So you do What Pride Has Wrought, and that goes into the very last quest. So this week, do whatever you need to do to get caught up. You need 40 power points, so do that. So work up to that. Also, chat with your friends, whatever you have to do to get ready for What Pride Has Wrought. So it's a free week. We're giving you all free week. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I've been having
Good
fun.
idea.
Can't believe we're almost to the end of the game.
Too. I'm really excited to explore some of the places that we haven't really looked at. Do we have to? Is investigating the deep roads something that we have done yet, or is that a main quest at all, or is that something that we can do next week?
That is one of the DLCs.
Oh, we don't do that yet then.
Nope. So there
Got it.
are 3 DLC. There's the Deep Roads one, Trespasser, and one more. I believe there are 3. So but that Deep Roads one is one of the DLCs. So we will be doing
Okay,
that one.
I will not do the DLCs.
If it's a pyramid with like a fancy like color on it of some sort, that means it's a DLC. So it has like that like vein of different color on it, or like a vine around it. That usually means it's a DLC. The DLC costs like 8 power points to get, I believe, or to unlock.
Okay.
That's what those are.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering what those
Yeah,
were.
I should have been clear about that. That is on me. But yeah, so those are one of the DLC. So yes, and it's a lot of fun, by the way. I'm a big fan of that one. Let's go thank the patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Hey, thank you, patrons and Twitch subs.
Thank.
Darn it. I was super excited about thanking Drimsdale for using their Prime to sub to our channel. So excuse me for my excitement.
Honestly, just blame me because I just threw it completely off the bat right away. It's my fault.
Before we get too much further, during the patron thank you, I'm going to do something which is explicitly not thanking the patrons, because apparently if we're saying aloha in the intro, there's no rules just right in this episode. I did have a listener who will remain nameless who explicitly told me, I've gotten so used to you saying something after every sound effect that when you don't say something, it feels bad, it feels weird. So today I'm just gonna rip off of everything. Every sound effect, you will get an additional sound effect from me one way or another. So just be prepared for that. And then if you hate it from here on out, I'll only do it once. But I have a feeling that it's going to be a squelch bit, and it's going to be something that we do forever.
Okay, I'm okay with that, but it needs to be, I can't go, okay, welcome to lore. You can't go, lore.
Dano, I can, actually.
Could go aloha.
Nope, that
TTT.
I can't. That actually is in the books as things that I cannot do.
Like I was trying to say, thank you very much, Drimsdale, for the Twitch Prime. We really do appreciate it. Twitch subs and our patrons keep the podcast ticking, and we really do appreciate that. If you want to support the show, head over head over to twitch.tv/DanielPlay, the O is a 0, or patreon.com/squelch. $5 and above patrons get the podcast tonight. It is recorded. Thank you all very much for your support.
This one's a real page turner.
What's up, lore friends?
Should have gone with lore.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Let's do it one more time.
It's fair.
This one's a real page turner.
Huh. Who are our friends this week?
It's a little bit better.
I'm not sure I like that one either.
Look, it's not about batting 1,000, Matt. It's about throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
We only do good bits in Squelch, so
Fair.
We've never had a bad bit ever. I'm certain you are aware of that. Let's talk about our friends and our advisors. So we've got 3 advisors. They are Colin, Josephine, and Liliana. Colin is our commander of military forces, a former Templar who served at all the worst places, basically. He served at the gallows in Dragon Age 2 when it was attacked by literal statues. And he also was at the Circle in Ferelden when it was attacked by Templars who were taken over by demons. So, Colin's had a rough career. And then we have Josephine. She is our ambassador and chief diplomat. Her family doesn't have as much money as the other nobles, and it makes her sad. Then we have Liliana, our spy master. She is a former companion of the hero Ferelden and was the left hand of the divine. Next up, we have our companions. We have Blackwall, a wandering gray warden in search of new recruits. Cassandra, a seeker, which is a fancy Templar. She was the right hand of the divine. Cole, a spirit who created his own body. Dorian, a mage from Tevinter. Iron Bull, a Canary Ben Hasreth agent. Sarah, an elven rogue, and a red Jenny. That means that she uses poor people to do pranks. And then assassinations as well. Kind of like both. Equal numbers of both, it seems like. So, keep it light. Solus is an elven apostate mage, an expert on the Fade. Varric, a surface dwarf rogue, former companion of Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall. You may know Varric from his best-selling books, Hard in Hightown, his romance series, Swords and Shields, or his bestseller, The Tale of the Champion. Then we have Vivian. She is a human mage and remains loyal to the Circle and is the official enchanter for the Imperial Court of Orlais. Did I miss anything about any of that?
Nope.
No.
Cool. Let's get into the recap.
As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn.
Recap that story.
Okay, I don't hate that. We had one real big thing this week. That was the quest Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. Along with Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts, there were 4 side quests. There was Red Jenny's stashes. Well, I think there were 3 official side quests. Nope, there were 4, right?
Yeah, there's 4.
Yeah, Red Jenny's stashes, throwing away money, the blackmail hunt, and then find the horsies. I forgot that find the horsies was a thing and didn't write it down. I think it was like Hala or something. I don't know. It was awful. But
it was it was a bad quest.
Yeah, Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts is a big deal though. So we are in Orlais. Empress Celine. We learn that the Empress Celine is going to be murdered at this fancy ball by Corypheus and friends. She has this ball planned as a peace talk between her and Duke Gaspard, who is currently revolting against the Empire because he believes his claim as emperor is stronger than Empress Celine's because he was born first. Everyone knows born first means best. Even though he had equal chance to get it and then he just lost, he's still born first, also man, therefore should be emperor. And a bunch of people agree with him. So they're fighting a civil war right now. And she's like, hey, I think we should stop this civil war. And we're here not to get in the middle of the Civil War, but just to keep her from getting assassinated because Orlais being, going into turmoil is bad for everyone while we're trying to fight Corypheus. So that is kind of what we're doing. Matt, tell us about our amazing side quest this week.
So yeah, there's the Red Jenny stashes. So all over the place, all over this palace, there are three little places that you can find the Red Jenny stashes. There's some good stuff in there. Sarah likes me a lot now since I brought her along and did the Red Jenny stash. You get like greatly approved every time you find a stash, I think.
Oh, really?
It was pretty good. Yeah, with her in the party. There's throwing money away. There's coins everywhere, all over the palace. Apparently, it's all over the place. I found all of 2 of them. You toss them in the fountain for approval.
Yeah, I like that they made this really silly small quest from Dragon Age 2 as part of the DLCs, where they were like, find 2, and they're really obvious and not difficult, and then you throw them in the fountain, and it's delightful. What if we did 15 and made them impossible to find?
Right. And you get 1 approval for doing it. Like tossing 1 coin and you get 1 approval. Like it's completely not worth it.
What was super fun about both the blackmail hunt, which we're going to talk about next, and throwing money away, is that if you went there already, you had to go back because after certain things happened, these things would show up. So you might go to a location and the coin wouldn't be there. And then you would hit a milestone in the quest, and then you have to go back to that place, and there would be the secret, or there would be the coin. It's just brutal. It was just brutal. It was like they were griefing the player. It was nuts.
All right, so yeah, speaking of the Great Blackmail Hunt, it's literally there's letters and spots all over the palace where you eavesdrop and find paperwork and things, and you turn it into Liliana, and everything you turn in improves your approval, your court approval. It's kind of worth it. I don't feel like it was that worth it. It was enough to keep you you can stay hidden longer while you're searching for all the other MacGuffins you have to look for. Speaking of other MacGuffins, there's these horses you have to find all over the place. Apparently, I found all of 3 because I needed 2 to get through the 1 door. Right? There was the 1 door that continued the quest. You had to find 2. Apparently there's 10,
11,
15?
I think there's 11, right? And you need 12 to open up all the doors. So you cannot open all the doors with the number of horses that are available. The game doesn't tell you this though. And so if you just open up all of the doors with the horses that you find, and you assume that you can open up all the doors, the last door with the most important stuff in it, depending on how you're trying to complete the quest, you won't be able to open it. And then too bad for you. So yeah,
what we're saying in these 4 quests, do the bare minimum. Don't even bother doing them. They're not worth it.
I think the Great Blackmail Hunt I liked. I thought that one was fun. I thought it would give some interesting tidbits here and there about the court. I liked that one. I thought the Red Jenny stashes was also fun. But the way that they did the horses to open up doors, I thought was weird. If you just had them open, if you can open up all the doors, cool, do that then. But yeah,
also to be clear, they're not real horses. They're just toy horses.
They are.
They're like statues.
Yeah. Horse statues, and you basically put the horse statues on shelves around doors to unlock the doors magically. So the doors are locked magically by horse statue, and then you have to find the statues that people just lost around the palace. And then you find them, and then you use them to open up doors. And they're consumable. So, once you've used 5 horses on something, that's 5 consumed horses. You can't, take the horse back off the shelf and go around. Once it's on a shelf, it lives there forever.
It's insane.
It's a really weird. It's a weird choice. So the one thing that Matt mentioned that I didn't bring up, I should have. So while you were at court, you have between 0 and 100 approval. If your court approval reaches 0, you lose. You get kicked out of the ball, and the Empress gets murdered, and Corypheus wins. So you can't hit 0 on approval. So that's why that stuff throwing money away and the Great Blackmail Hunt is there. It's a way to for you to keep up your approval. because like different conversations you have with people, you can lose approval or gain approval. And but depending on your background, you may start with lower approval or higher approval. So I started with like, I'm a human noble. So I started with like 55. This was real easy. I think like Matt as a Kunari started with like 15 or something.
25.
Hey, I'll
25.
talk
25.
about it in the next paragraph.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I
sorry.
started with 25 and was immediately knocked down 5 for some reason. So,
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing these side quests for. They're I don't know, they're McMuffin hunts basically. So
Yeah.
Storm Rage, talk
It's
to us
pretty
about
crazy.
what we're doing. Sorry, I see it right there.
All
My
right,
bad.
so
My
here's
bad, dude.
the overall plot of this quest, taking all side quests off. I am not going to talk a ton about like hyper specific conversations that happen because there's a lot of them. A lot of the blackmail you'll hear like whisper, 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 which is very interesting in theme setting, but not related to plot. So here's the base plot rundown. We attend the winter ball of the Empress Selene, as we know that Corypheus is planning on murdering the Empress, which would in turn cause chaos throughout the realm and make it virtually impossible to oppose Corypheus with the most powerful country in Thedas knocked out of commission. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. As we enter the Winter Palace, we are reminded by everyone that our actions matter and that the court will be looking at us very closely. Oh, hey, there's a court approval meter that appears in our upper right-hand corner from 1 to 100. If you're an elf, they don't like you a ton, so you start at 30. If you're a mage, they don't like you a ton, so you start at 30. If you're Kunari, they don't like you a lot, so you start at negative 15, which means you start at 25. If you're a human, non-mage, then you get to start at 40. If you're Dano, I guess you get to start at 55 because reasons. There are 3 major players to be aware of throughout this quest. There is the Empress Selene, who is the current Empress who has been in charge for quite some time, and she has championed peace rather successfully. She is generally beloved by the people and by the court, but her reign is being actively challenged by her cousin, Duke Gaspard. Duke Gaspard is the Duke who is the one who invited us to this winter ball. As Selene said, no thank you, we don't need any Inquisition. He is the general in the army and believes that he should be the rightful emperor. And by typical claims, he should be. He was in fact snubbed by the council who decides who gets to be the official emperor because he's not really a people person and he's not good at talking to people. He doesn't seem like a nice guy. He loves war and is loved by his soldiers, and he invites us to the ball because he knows it will cause chaos, which he desperately needs in order to make his play for the throne. There's also Briala. Briala is Empress Selene's former lover, who is now in charge of a significant number of elven agents and assassins, and is considering a move that would give her greater power within Orlais. Because she is an elf, her and Selene's relationship is not well known and could cause quite a scandal if found out. Before I go any further, what did you guys think of like first impressions of these 3? Because we get to talk to them pretty quickly early on. Did you have anybody that you liked or disliked right away?
Gaspard was easy to dislike, right? Like he was kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, very stereotypical, like army first type of like, oh, I should be in charge because you know, I feel that might makes right, and I think that we should be in charge of the Fereldans and the Antivans because we used to be, and therefore we should always be. And how could we let our empire come to this? So it's kind of like, oh, that guy kind of stinks. And then Briala, I'm like, okay, why are you here? They don't really give us a good reason why. So like, I guess the idea is that the elves might revolt, and so they're trying to keep the elves from revolting. At least that's kind of what because they give like, okay, she's here because she is like exactly like you said, Storm Rage. She's in charge. Like the elves are basically like, she speaks for the elves basically.
Yeah.
And so like for speaking for the elves, therefore she has a place at these peace talks. But it's a little, it's fine.
It's a little
not
contrived.
awful, but it's not. It's also like you're kind of like, I don't necessarily know if it It was fine. It was fine. Briella
Yeah.
was fine and interesting. She's basically their Liliana. She's a spy master.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because of her like ability to like get all these elves together, she's basically become the voice of the elves, which is fine because elves are considered second-class citizens. So the more I talk about it, the more it does make sense that she's there. But you do have to really talk yourself into understanding why she's there. The game doesn't do a great job of telling you why she's there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I also hated Duke Gaspard immediately, and I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to not have this dude be in charge. But I do like that he's the one that invites you, and he's like the one that first makes contact to try to get you a little bit more on his side, which naturally just wouldn't happen otherwise.
I did come around to him a little bit at the end. And by the end, I was like, you're just kind of dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he's a little dumb. And so I kind of felt bad for him. And I was like, oh, I think maybe you just think you're smarter than you are. And that's like, I mean, it's not an excuse really, but also like, you're fine. But we'll talk about that when we get to the end. So.
Yeah.
There is a use for a useful idiot.
Matt,
From-
we'll get to that at the end. Too.
I'm here.
Spoiler alert.
We enter into the palace and our courtyard, and we are in the courtyard when Gaspard meets us, and not so subtly is like, hey, if the Empress were out of the way, I would for sure be in charge, and then I would guarantee all of Orlay's soldiers to the Inquisition, which is a tempting offer because that's why we're here. We need Orlay's forces, otherwise things are going to go bad. It is a little funny to me how blunt he is about it in kind of the open, when the rest of this is all about being very, very, very secretive as much as you can. But you know what? To each their own. He's clearly not great at playing the game, otherwise he would be in charge already. We are brought into the grand ballroom and introduced by the herald, the introducer. I don't know what his name is.
The guy that yells out names in every movie. Like, so whenever like, the princess movie, it's like, boom, the Princess of Sidonia or whatever her name is, it's that guy. Yeah.
It is delightful how long this section takes, because it's a massive drawn out title, and then it's all of your advisors, and then they introduce the companions that you have with you. It's phenomenal. I loved this section a lot. And then we eventually make our way down the end of the ballroom, and we briefly meet Celine, who also introduces us to her cousin, the Grand Duchess Floriane, who appears to be a significant character who we didn't know beforehand. Yes, Matt, you've put up your finger and your hand. Go ahead.
It's known as the court usher or crier, but if you want to go in France, because we're in Orlais, is it honneur de justice or honneur de audience?
That was
perfect.
Amazing. I'm sure every person who speaks French was like, wow, that accent was perfect and spot on.
Exactly.
I felt like I was transported to Orlais right there. Thank you so much.
I couldn't tell if I was
Canada,
in
where they also
Minnesota or
speak
Montreal. French. That was shockingly good.
Anyway.
But we are here for a very important reason. We're here to make sure that the assassination attempt fails, so that we can go on our way to try and find... So after the brief introduction, we head out and we try to find out more information about the would-be assassin. And Liliana reminds us, it's not quite here where she does it, but she reminds us pretty soon that that's actually not why we're here. We don't necessarily have to stop the assassin. We need to make sure that Orlais is united. And those two things might be the same, or they might technically be different. And that might mean letting the Empress die so that we can unite under someone else, or it might mean that we should save the Empress Celine because she's a peaceful person who seems to be a good person, and it'd be crazy to let her die for just one random reason. Would be an insane call. You'd have to be some sort of monster to do that. Anyway, we'll get to Matt's decision later.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
So both this conversation with Liliana and the conversation we have with Josephine at the beginning when she's like, just so you know, this is Orlais, the home of the game. Everything you say and every move you make will be tracked. And I'm like, this is a conversation we should have had at home. This is an at-home conversation, not in out with friends. We traveled here, presumably for days, maybe weeks. Why didn't we have the conversation then? And then also the Liana, I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. But also, why are we having this conversation around all of these people we don't know when we could have had this conversation around no other people? I feel
Yeah.
like this is
Yep.
going to be a running criticism of this admittedly very cool, great story, but I've got criticism.
Yeah, I
Got
think
notes.
criticisms
Got notes.
are fair. So we begin to investigate Briala's agents because we need to figure out what's going on, and that seems like as good a place to start as any. We can eavesdrop on some elves who talk about how anybody that keeps going into the servants' quarters doesn't come out. So we sneak around, we get some more dirt, we find some more horses, we wonder where the heck is that coin. It's on the map, it says that it's on the map, why isn't the coin showing up yet? Oh, well, I guess it's just not that phase yet. Super fun. Then you go upstairs, and we sneak into Celine's occult advisor's office. And in that occult advisor, we find some loot, as well as a note signed by someone simply indicated as M. Intriguing. We make our way back down and are introduced to Celine's occult advisor, Morrigan, from Dragon Age Origins. She tells us that she is here, and she is protecting Celine, and that we need to go figure out what's going on, because she can't be away from Celine for too long. Otherwise, someone's probably going to kill her. Which, you know what? Fair point, Morrigan. You do that. One of the few arguments that I'm like, I get why you're not helping me out. You've got other things to do. So she does give us a key so we can check out the servants' quarters ourselves. We then go and talk to some other folks and get some other information, but eventually we get to the servants' quarters and find some bad guys. What's more is that they've killed one of the Council of Heralds, the individuals who technically choose who the Emperor or Empress will be. Oh no, it seems like it was Gaspard who sent these assassins, because the Council didn't like him because they snubbed him, so it seems likely Gaspard is actually behind the assassination plot. We go after the Harlequin that murdered the Council of Herald, or one of the counselors. The counselors of Herald? The counselor of Heralds?
A counselor
A council
of Herald?
member? Yeah.
A member of the Counselor
Or
of
just-
Heralds.
A member
just
of the a counselor of the Council of Herald.
Or just Harold.
Harold. We'll call him Harold. His name was Harold. And we kill the Herald. No, we don't kill the Herald. We kill the Harlequin who killed the Herald, and a bunch of Venatori along the way. There's also a door to Celine's vault that we can open and find an elven locket that was a gift from Briala back when they were lovers. Turns out Celine isn't over her former secret lover. We come back to the ballroom, and Florian asks us for a dance, and there are so many dialogue options here that can either tank or save your court approval rating. My court approval was so low before this, and I then went to the guide. The answer here, if you don't want to look up the guide, is just say nothing. Say nothing the entire dance. She'll be like, what do you think of this? And you'll be like, well, what do you think of this? And she'll be like, this is dangerous. And you're like, what is danger? She'll be like, oh, there might be an assassin coming. And you're like, ooh, assassins, those are things that try to kill people. And it's like, yeah, I guess.
I
just
think
every option you have is nothing.
Yeah, like I think the correct choice is to pick the middle option every time. Just about.
Oh, that might be true. I didn't pay attention to like where it's physically located, but that sounds right. That sounds right.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Florian, Matt said to pick the middle option, and that is an option you could take. I make no comments on my feelings towards what Matt has just said. That's basically what you need to say in order to get the highest approval rating here.
Yeah.
So Florian eventually tells us that we need to check out the Royal Wing in order to gain more information. That sounds great. That seems like a good place to find more things. So we do that. In the Royal Wing, we find out more blackmail against all three of the major players here. And it seems that basically all of them are planning on betraying one another. Very, very clear. Gaspard did, in fact, bring an army into the castle to try to overthrow Celine. Celine knows about the army and has already planned to betray Gaspard with her own army inside the castle. Briala has agents in the castle as well that can tilt it into basically any direction. Dano, yes.
Two things. One, we also are sneaking an army into the castle. Very
Also
unsecure
true, yes.
castle. Just the most unsecure castle. There are currently
I mean, it's a palace.
okay, palace. Sure,
sure.
fine, palace. Very unsecure though, not secure. At one point, someone goes, "Are there more Inquisition guards around than there used to be?" And someone goes, "Nah, you're imagining things." And then 2, are you gonna tell the fine folks how Celine figured out that there were guards or an army being snuck into the castle?
Excellent on both accounts. And yes, I will. Because, so let's do a quick count on the number of armies in the castle. There is the Inquisition bringing in our army. There is Gaspard bringing in his army. There is Celine bringing in her army. There is the actual bad guys, the Venatori, that are the assassins that are bringing in their army. And Briala has her agents, which is not an army, but basically an army. So there's 5 armies in this palace. You gotta imagine at some point, everybody's just looking at each other being like, there's too many people here. There's just too many folks. This shouldn't be here. But we find out that Celine has played Gaspard by entering into a bedroom, and there is a guard who is chained up in the bedroom, more specifically to the bed, and is chained up, and he's like, I was promised fun activities, and not fun activities happened. I've been stuck here, chained to this bed for quite some time. Please let me out. This is embarrassing. And you're like, yeah, sure is. And you can either tell him to not tell anybody, and he'll be like, I absolutely don't want to tell anybody about this. This is very embarrassing. Or you could be like, hey, go tell everybody. This will be very embarrassing for everybody.
So this is an insane moment in the game because
Yeah.
depending on what you choose here will just discount certain options at the end. So if you tell him to just, hey, keep this between us, between me and you, I know you did this. Let's go ahead and just keep it between us. Well, basically, Celine gets out scot-free, essentially, of having any dirt on her whatsoever, even though you know there is dirt. So you have to, the court has to know there is dirt. Even though for the other 2, I don't necessarily know that that's true. Like, do we have to publicly shame them for the other 2? I don't feel like we do.
I think you have to have the incriminating evidence on the other 2.
Oh, so we have the Ferelden guy that we get, and then we have the elf lady. Okay, so that's right. So, but that's not public though. So why couldn't have he been just like those other 2? It's fine. It's fine. I get it because her hands were she was basically just defending herself as best she could by means basically just the gumption of that guy just like the confidence that guy has been like, yeah, this empress, I get it how could she not?
Yeah
all right, go ahead.
So we continue on through the royal wing. We've opened the final room, and bam, more bad guys. An army of archers, all with bows pointed and trained on the door, and a rift, which means demons. Uh-oh, this is a trap. And also Florian is there. Weird. Oh no! She has allied herself with Corypheus and plans on killing everyone and the Inquisitor here. Uh-oh! Florian heads back into the ballroom and leaves us to die against an army of archers and demons, but she doesn't understand how powerful I've become as a knight enchanter. I easily defeat all the bad guys and head back in because I'm basically a god. And how many times do you have to leave me alone with random trash before you realize I can't and won't be killed, Corypheus? Impossible! We make our way out and we tell Colin that Florian has betrayed everyone, and he asks us what we should do. And we can either choose to reveal her, we can choose to expose her to the court, we can choose to just let the assassination happen if we are monsters and don't care about one of the greatest empresses that Orlais has ever had that has reigned peacefully for decades.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll learn about Matt's decision later. So there are 5 total possible endings. There is Celine. Do you want to take over, Dano?
I want to actually jump back a little bit. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So in this game we've been collecting secrets, right? And there are like
Yeah.
so each secret is worth 2 points of like court intrigue, and there are 30 secrets. So that's 60 possible intrigue points that you can get while you are in out of bounds area. So whenever you're not in the ballroom and in the areas the party's happening, your court approval goes down. So while we are kind of doing all of this stuff, our approval has slowly been going down. Now, while we were in the royal bedroom area, we are also collecting secrets. So there's like, I think 5 or 6 secrets we find in here. You cannot turn them in once you fight the demons. So the way to ensure that you have enough court points is to do everything in the area, ignore the person screaming for help behind the door, take your secrets that you've collected the entire game, go to Liliana, cap out your court approval, and then use your sprint ability to get to the fight, and that will ensure that you have 100 out of 100. You don't need 100 out of 100, you just need 85 to get best options, but still, that's an insane design.
It is insane.
Like,
It's simply
that's
insane.
wild.
Like, no person would ever play that way. So why would you have secrets hidden and then have to leave and then come back? It's just a really weird design choice. It's a weird design choice.
Yeah. This whole thing, I think, can be best summarized as really fun ideas, interesting story, weird design choices.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Talk about our options.
So there are 5 possible options. Celine can rule all alone. Celine and Briala can rule together. All 3 leaders can publicly declare a truce and basically join the Inquisition all together. Gaspard can rule all alone if Celine's assassination goes through, or Gaspard can rule with Briala being kind of like the shadow leader or the hidden leader, the one that's pulling all the strings.
the best
Matt, why did you let an innocent woman die?
Mainly because I was all in on what Liliana was saying, the best option for the Inquisition would be Gaspard's forces plus Briala running the show and having her forces as well. And I'm like, bet. And I did that. And I was like,
Hey,
yeah.
Matt.
So then I was like, what? So it's like, no, let it happen. We'll deal with it afterwards. Is basically what happened. So like literally, Florian just goes right up to the Empress and just stabs her right in the back. And then we go and fight her in the courtyard.
That's what happens?
Yes.
It's kind of insane, Matt. Hey, Matt.
That's insane.
If Liliana, is that right?
Liliana.
Liliana. I'm not sure why I
Liliana said
forgot her
so,
name.
so I'm like, yeah, bet. Let's do
If
it.
she told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it, Matt? Would you do it?
I would first I would ask how high, and then I would do it.
Matt, I am curious. So you ended up with Gaspard and Briala being the rulers. How do you
Correct.
feel about it? Like,
Not great.
okay.
No, I mean, personally, as Matthew myself, yes.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. This is probably the worst option. I really wanted like all 3. Like, I kind of wanted all 3 rulers, and then I like looked it up, and I'm like, I have to find all these stupid horses. No. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the next options? Like Celine's whatever. Briala, she's not great. Gaspard, he's even less great. But like, what should I do? And then Liliana's like, this is what's best for the Inquisition.
In your own evaluation of the 3 leaders,
Yes.
Gaspard is on the bottom, and yet
Yes.
he is the ruler in your playthrough.
No, Briala's the ruler. He's just the figurehead.
I mean, until he has her murdered.
Yeah.
I mean I got their forces. I don't care at this point. Whatever
Daniel,
happens after the Inquisition's done, I don't care.
What was your outcome? What did you think of it?
So my outcome is Celine and Briala rule together, which was the outcome I was shooting for. So I did get what I wanted, but when I got there, I was like, actually, I kind of want all 3 leaders to publicly declare a truce, but because I didn't tell the guy in the bedroom to go and run and tell everyone what was happening, that is not an option. So I sat with Celine and Brielle rolled together. I could have gone back to a save. I had a save, and I was like, I don't want to spend that 15 minutes. I'm fine with Celine and Brielle rolling together, actually. It's not worth that much time. Later, I did get to a place where, like, the Civil War is happening, and the Civil War is over, and you're like, hey, just so you know, the Civil War is over. And he's like, oh, really, what happened? He goes, yeah, Gaspard lost. He goes, oh, we're all going to pay for that. So I kind of feel a little bad, but then also, don't do a Civil War, I guess. So,
Yeah.
I guess I don't feel bad. I'm happy with Celine and Brielle rule together. At the end, I think I would have thought about it a lot more if I had the option for all three rulers publicly declare a truce. It'd been more difficult, but because the option wasn't there, then it was easy to get Celine and Brielle rule together. Even though it's actually not, you have to know exactly what things to do via a guide, because if you just aren't a bad person, you will make a Storm Rage. Storm Rage, what did you do?
I just have Celine ruling all alone. And I'm really bummed about it because I followed the guide and it was like, these are the things you need to do. And I was like, great. And then in the guide, it was formatted in such a way. So there's basically like 3 dialogue choices at the end. So I successfully prevented the assassination because I'm not a crazy person. And if somebody's going to assassinate somebody, you should probably not let them do that. And so assassination didn't happen. And then Celine's like, hey, let's chat. So then all 3 leaders plus you go and chat privately. And if you're basically like, Brielle helped me do all this thing, and also Gaspard tried to kill you, and all these things, which is not technically true, but kind of technically true, then Brielle and Celine end up working together. Well, I did all those things, and then there was a little dialogue option that was basically either... There are 3 dialogue options. There was 1, you should rule alone. There was 2, Brielle helped with all of this, and you should be aware of that. And then there was 3... you should make sure that you shouldn't kill Gaspard. And I thought, well, like, you shouldn't kill. I don't think you should kill Gaspard. He's kind of lost all of his power in this instance. So I'm kind of okay with you not killing Gaspard, assuming that the dialogue tree would then come back to this double choice of you should rule alone or you should rule with Brielle, and it didn't. And so, like, the 5 minutes of dialogue of these two being flirty together and like, ooh, we should do this, just like gets abandoned out of nowhere and is never mentioned again. And I was like, that sucked. And I didn't have a save because I tried to save beforehand, but I got into apparently several spots that you just couldn't save.
Yeah.
So every time I tried to go and save so I could come back to do things differently, you couldn't. So I'd have to redo the entire mission again. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So it was a bummer that my attempt to save someone's life also prevented lovers from getting together for like no real reason. But Celine's in charge, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I had the save outside the door of the demon fight because I did the thing where I went out, gave Liliana all the secrets, and then used my sprint to get in. That's why. So I finished this area with 100 out of 100 approval, which doesn't do anything except for like you get a brag that you had 100 out of 100 approval. So it's functionally worthless. But so I had a save right outside the room because why not? So yeah.
Functionally worthless, I think, is the secret tagline to Squelch.
So Matt, what did you think about all of this? Let's start. What did you think of the story first? What did you think of the story?
I like the story. It was hard to follow because it's French names, and I'm terrible with names and characters in this game. I don't know. I was like,
there's 4 names, Matt. There's 4 names.
There's been a lot of names so far.
There are
I
2 things that Matt stands for in his life. 1, French names are hard to remember, and 2, desert zones suck. That's all you need to know about Matt. He's an easy guy to figure out.
Exactly. So, like I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought it like I think it's unique. It's very unique. It's like a whole area you get to explore, not with your sword, but with your words.
Yeah.
And your sword.
And your sword.
So, it's a lot of, it was fun. It was different. So I kind of enjoyed it. Like the whole aspect. Would I do things differently in the future? Yes, because I know better. But also I do like the outcome of the way that my story is developing as well.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Storm Rage, what do you think of the story part of this? of this whole quest line.
From a story perspective, really enjoyed this. I thought that the kind of political intrigue, I thought that the shades of gray, like I really liked a lot of this story. I also liked the introduction of Morrigan, who at the end of the quest, by the way, I forgot to mention this, is now your kind of emissary for
Liaison.
the throne of Orlais, no matter what ending you choose. So she is now with the Inquisition in Skyhold as well. Yes?
How does Morgan end up at Skyhold with you if Gaspard is ruling Orlais? Because she was definitely not on Team Gaspard.
No, she's still with me.
Did she just follow? Did she say I have nowhere else to be, so I'm going with you? Is that what she said?
Pretty much,
Okay.
like, you know,
Okay,
like,
that
oh,
makes
and like,
sense,
and it's like, and since I was so close to Celine, Gaspard wants me out of the picture anyway, so it made more sense for me to be with you.
Gotcha. Okay, I guess
that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So big fan of this from a story perspective. Some of the mechanics I found a little frustrating, but story wise, I was all in. Daniel, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think the story is a lot of fun. I think the whole reason of being there is really great. I think you get to wear fancy outfits and you get to dance. You get to dance with two people, depending. You get to dance with like your romantic interest if you have one, and you also get a romance with the court lady. Lots of fun. I think the intrigue is really good. I think Matt said you get to fight with your words and not your sword is really fun, but then you also go off and do fight with your sword because it is a video game.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun story. I love how they kind of wrapped Orlais into it. This very much is like, we've been to Ferelden, we've been to the Free Marches, and now we are in Orlais. Dragon Age Inquisition, while it takes place in the whole of like those three areas of Free Marches, Ferelden, and Orlais, it really does focus mostly on Orlesian politics and such. And so this is a really cool like introduction into Orlesian politics. And I thought that was a lot of fun. I did enjoy this story a whole bunch, and like getting to make the choice of who the Empress or Emperor is also really fun. There is another aspect to this. This was a video game, so there are video game mechanics to this. Matt, what'd you think of those video game mechanics?
The MacGuffin quests were bad. They really were not great. And the fact you couldn't turn stuff in after a certain point really just felt really dumb. Like there should have been like, I don't know, like an Inquisitor page just like in the background, like, hey, give this crap to Liliana and then all your stuff bumps up, right? Like, I'm just saying. I don't know. I thought the whole side quest part of the stuff was not worth doing specifically.
What'd you think of it, Storm Rage?
Yeah, I was pretty similar. I wasn't opposed to like the concept of listening in and finding secrets that way. I thought was a really fun concept, and I think execution wise it was fine to get the secrets. I think turning them in was very silly. I think the stupid horses were crazy. How difficult they were to find. There's one that's up on a high beam in the middle of a kitchen that you have to turn around. And in order to get it, you have to jump onto the table and then kind of bug yourself out a little bit in order to get up to it. Or you have to jump onto 3 different barrels, jump onto the beam, and then very slowly walk across, which is insane. No. So, like, either way, you're taking too much time to do this really weird thing that's not particularly rewarding. Because I don't think Dragon Age, jumping in Dragon Age is better than jumping in every other Dragon Age because it exists. But it's not a platform and it's not designed that way. So, like, it's not good for those small things. No. And I thought the coins were fine, but unnecessarily difficult. And there's one small thing that we didn't really talk about, which is if you are in certain locations, your court approval will just naturally decline because you're not at the court. And I thought in practice, fun idea, but that just meant that when I was doing main quest stuff, I kept being like, I have to do this so fast, otherwise I can't do it. And so it meant that I couldn't just explore. I had to very intentionally go in, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to find this thing, I'm going to get out. And that I didn't love. Dan, how about yourself?
Or Matt? My favorite part of that was like, you know, you're in that area, in the area just outside, there's the fountain, and like you're climbing up this trellis, right in front of all these other people. It's like, what?
So I had the same thought when I was first time I played the game, I was like, there is no way this can be it. Like, if I'm supposed to be collecting court approval, no way can be climbing up this trellis be the way to do it. It is. That's the
Also
only
my
thing
thought.
to do.
Yep.
I looked this time. If you spin the camera around, the bard is on the other side of the court. And so the only person looking at you is the bard. Everybody else is looking away from you. So I guess the idea is that you are climbing up a wooden trellis and nobody sees you because they are so engrossed by the bard's music.
Yeah,
so
a big beefy Canary is known for its stealth.
It's a really good shout, Matt. Good call on that one. But I was like, I literally turned the camera around. I was like, oh, no one is looking at me. That must be what they're thinking. It's so dumb.
There's dark alleys on the side of it, right?
Yeah,
Too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's dark alleys on the side of it. There could have been like a ladder. There could have been a door and a staircase that goes up. No, there's this trellis.
There could have been a trellis in a shadow. It could have been a number of things. It could have been a staircase. I don't know. There were plenty of staircases. It was a pretty insane decision. And then you're running around up there, like in full sight. Like everyone would see you up there. It's so funny.
It's crazy. It's a crazy choice.
It's so good. What did I think of the how they pulled it off? I think it was really bad. I just think from like putting myself in this idea of, so we are this world spanning, Inquisition, and we are going to monkey with this empire's politics. The idea that we wouldn't have a plan in place until I was running around and fighting the bad guys makes no sense. So why not just have, these are all conversations we could have had at the war table. Like they have something in place where you could have been researching the different people, finding out different secrets about them and that kind of stuff, using that then later to as court intrigue. They have mechanics already in place to do all of this.
Yep.
And then we could have gone and then played through this stuff. Instead, and then we would have had an outcome you could find, right? You knew what kind of outcome you were looking for instead of walking into it and being so Liliana, what do you think I should do? Okay. And then not really knowing how you even get to that outcome. Because like I said, if you wanted all three leaders to publicly declare a truce, you can only do that if you have the naked man run around, right? That's insane to kind of think that's the only way to get a truce.
Sentence that you just had.
Naked dude is the only way for a truce. I mean, obviously, but I wish they had done it differently. They have mechanics in place to do it differently, and instead they chose to do it this way. And everything was behind a black box of the game mechanics that you can't see unless you're running with a guide. And that's the worst way to play a game. If I have to have a guide to get the outcome that I want to get in a game where it's all about politics, you did a bad job, right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I love the story they told, and I think the way they told it was the way they told the story was good. The way they implemented it was really bad. It was really, really bad. It was poorly done. I think everything could have been in. They could have kept all of that in the game still, and just you would fail certain things. So if you wanted all three leaders to publicly declare a truce, but you goofed up some of the intrigue checks, then maybe things get worse. And so you lose, the more intrigue you lose, you want, the option is Selena and Brianna to rule together. Okay. And then you goof it so Selena rules alone. Okay. You goof it so then Gaspard rules, right? They had a way to have a failure put into the game. They just chose to do it in a way that required a guide. And that's not fun. I had my second screen on the whole time, and I was just following the steps to make sure I had everything in place so that I could get the outcome that I wanted. That's a bummer. I,
no joke, had 2 guides and a map up for this.
Oh, I believe you. I had a screenshot up too.
Still got confused.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, I had a screenshot of what 5 things I needed to do to get Celine and Briella together. So I had that screenshot in Paint, and then I had the guide up as well, and then I had the game up. So I had 2. It's like, what are we doing? How is that the option? How is that the way you? It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
So really great idea. They fumbled the execution though.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
I feel like you're trying to get me there. It's not very nice.
No, it's because my Discord doesn't register the so there's like a 2-second pause from when you actually hear anything versus when I started doing the bit.
See, it's not my fault. Everyone now understands that when I miss it, it's because I think he's not talking. That's what's happening. Not that I am goofing up every time on accident. I would never do that. That'd be shocking.
Never.
No, we only do intentional goofs here. Hey, Matt, what'd you do this week?
After we did the ball, I was like, I was itching for some more sword and swingy stuff, so I did some more side content. So I did the Demands of the Coon, which is the Coon has an opportunity to ally with you, and then you just go and you and Iron Bull and his crew head out to the Sword Coast or whatever coast that is, and run a mission with them. It does not go well. And you have the choice. Have a couple choices. Either let his crew die, or he's no longer a part of the Coon. So he's no longer a part of the Coon. He's now my buddy. And I don't have an alliance with the Coon, but I have my best friend. So that's all that matters. Talked to Colin about, got him off his lyrium addiction. I picked it up for him.
Because you're a Templar.
Did the Cole quest where he has to make a choice, or first you have to get an amulet that may or may not work. And he has to decide if he wants to be a real boy or a spirit boy. I went with spirit boy because I don't know. That was the option I chose. I didn't think too hard about it. And then Varric hates me more. So because I made Cole a spirit boy, not a real boy. We get back and we find out Cassandra and Liliana are both up for the Divine, but are way too busy with the Inquisition to deal with it. Liliana doesn't want to talk about it, and Cassandra has some ideas, and we'll see which way I go. And it seems like there's an option that I could become Divine, which would be fun.
You can't become Divine because you're a man.
Oh, bummer.
That's a bummer. I'm a woman, and I asked if I can be Divine. They're like, no, you couldn't be Divine because you're too wrapped up in the politics of the Inquisition, and it would basically be like the Chantry ceding all of its
power to the Inquisition.
Yeah, to the Inquisition, and so it would basically be sucked up in the Inquisition. So that'd be a terrible thing. So you'll never be Inquisitor or Divine. I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. They actually gave a really good reason why. But there's actually a third person that's up for it as well. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, hung out with Sarah a bit. Played some pranks on our advisors. Made Colin's desk wobbly. We put a little bucket of did the door bucket trick on Josephine's door. And then we went to go prank Liliana, but we realized she's suffered enough, so we don't need to prank her at all. And it's a fun little quest.
Yeah, and
it's a fun little quest that happens.
You know what the best part about this is now? Whenever you go talk to Sarah, there's a special option, and you can go have roof cookies with her and just have a little best friend chat with her. Yeah, I'm telling you,
that's really good.
Sarah is the Morgan of this one, where if you get through the I think I don't like to talk to you, and you get to the bit of her that's never had a friend, you're like, oh, you just have never had a friend, and actually you're kind of awesome. So it's definitely worth the trouble.
I'd be interested if she wasn't racist against elves.
She does.
I'd be fine with her then.
That's more of her hating herself, though, really. So it's more of an internal hatred than it is so that's what's going. You have to understand she's hating herself, doesn't hate you.
But she's outwardly hating me from it.
She disapproves if you have Celine get together with the elf, by the way.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh, and the most important thing, I found Guard Captain Avelina at the war table.
Yes, she is. So. And Kirkwall. It's awesome.
Yep. Storm Rage, what'd you do?
I didn't do a ton of side quests. I spent so much time on the Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts that I just didn't have enough time to do anything else this week. The only other quest that I was able to do is Cassandra's side quest. So Cassandra desperately wants you to find out more information about the Seekers, and we go and basically find out that the Seekers themselves, that the Lord Seeker betrayed all of the other Seekers and allied himself with Corypheus. And there is a book that the Lord Seeker has that his stance is that the Seekers have failed and that we need to burn the entire world down because that's the only logical thing to do, I guess. He's gone insane, and he betrays most of the Seekers and infuses them with red lyrium, and Cassandra has her one-time apprentice is infused with enough red lyrium, and actually a demon is put inside of him, and we have to kill him before the demon does. And it's really, really interesting quest. I love this one a lot. It was super engaging. And at the end of it, you can talk to Cassandra, and Cassandra's like, I don't know what to do with this information. Like, the Seekers were bad. I wanted to be good, but I don't know if I did. And we also find out that the Seekers are what created the process that creates Tranquil, as well as they are also ones that have the ability to undo the tranquil state of people. They touch them with a spirit of faith or something along those lines, a spirit, and it will undo the tranquil aspects of the effect. And that was crazy. And Cassandra's like, what should I do? And you can either say, let it die, let the Seekers die, or you can say you should remake the Seekers and make them better, make them worth it. Dano, I know that you also did this quest. Is there something significant that I missed here? Anything else you want to add?
Mostly not. I think the only thing is that the Seekers also, so the Seekers are fancy Templars, right? But they don't use lyrium for their powers. They use their powers. Yes. So there's a couple things here. So what they do is over months and months of training, they basically, and through meditation, they get to a point where they kill all emotion in themselves. And then in that moment of meditation, when they have lost everything, then a spirit of faith comes down and like touches them briefly. And then they get their emotions and feelings and everything back, and then also gain their Templar powers. So they said they've tried this on mages, and they have essentially just gone insane afterwards, after they've been made tranquil. So yeah, but like the whole time, the Seekers created the right of tranquility, make themselves tranquil as well, and then also they've used that on mages, which is awful. And so I think rightly so, questions everything she has known and believes, and handles it super duper well, by the way. Like, kudos to Cassandra. I think I want her to be my divine because of who she is as a person, but the third divine, do you want me to tell you who the third divine option is?
I'm curious, yeah.
It's Vivian. So Vivian can be divine as well. And if she's divine, then that would make a mage divine. And I'm like, that would be just really good for mages and people and the chantry if like there's somebody who like isn't a revolutionary necessarily, right? But who does want... So I don't know, I'm kind of torn between Cassandra and Vivian. And so I haven't gone and talked to Cassandra, because if I do, there's an option where you go, I want you to be divine, and that gives her +5 divine points. And if you do that, then it kind of can push... There's like a couple different things for both Vivian and Cassandra. You could say, I think you'd be a great divine, and you get divine points. And then there's also a war table thing where you can be like, do fancy politicking stuff to make them divine, and they get bonus divine points as well. But then throughout this entire game, everything you've been saying has been subtracting and adding divine points in the background for all three of them. So like all the decisions you've been making have been going towards who's going to be the next divine. And so basically the war table things and then these conversations you have with them are a way for you to like push what you want, but we've been making decisions the entire time on who the next divine will be, which I think is really, really cool. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
The only other thing that I had is I locked in my romance with Cassandra.
Oh, nice.
And you can go chat with her, and she bursts out as she's like, "We need to talk." And she takes you outside onto this like balcony area in the castle, and she's like, "This flirting needs to stop." And you're like, okay, are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes." And she slams the door behind her. And then she opens up the door and goes, "That's not what I want. What I actually want is romance. I want someone who can light candles and give me books and read me poetry and give me flowers and treat me like somebody that deserves to be romanced. And you can't do that because you're the Inquisitor." And you'd be like, I can do that. And so then you have to go on this quest to find flowers and a novel and some very cute things.
Oh, that's awesome.
And basically plan your first date with Cassandra. When I haven't actually done that part yet, I still need to do that part, so I'm excited to see how that resolves. But it's adorable, and I love it.
I'm jealous because I wanted to. So I had I wanted to romance Solus, but I couldn't because I'm not an elf. And then I wanted to romance Cassandra, but I couldn't because I'm a woman. And so I was like, I'll romance Josephine, which is fine. I think it makes sense from like a lore perspective and like the game that I'm playing as like a human noble who is perfectly happy being a human noble. And so I didn't romance Josephine, but it is truly a very boring. Like basically you're like, hey, she's like, hey, my family is only kind of rich and we want to be super rich, but someone's trying to stop us. And you're like, I guess I'll go and fix that. And then you fix that. And then she's like, oh, now I have to get married because we're kind of rich again. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll go fix that. And so then you get in a duel with a guy, and then you get in the duel and the guy's kind of fine. And he's like, and then she like breaks it up and she ignores him and goes off and like, how could you do this to yourself? And he's like, whoa. I didn't realize it was like true love. If I'd known that, I never would have done this. Like, he's like the best character in it. He's like, no. I just figured it was like a thing. Like you were just having a little thing. And I was like, if I had known it was like real, I never would have. No, we totally withdraw our claims to this marriage. You go live a happy life. It's going to be awesome. So that's actually pretty great. And then when you get back to Skyhold, the two gossipers there at the entrance that always have something to say about your current quest. They're like, so when do you think the wedding is going to be? What do you think I should wear? And it's fantastic dialogue stuff. It's really, really great because we're both like
really
nobles
good.
and super rich and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm kind of jealous of Cassandra. It sounds awesome. Yeah.
Daniel, what did you get to this week?
I did a lot of the stuff you guys did, actually. So after the stress of Adamant Fortress, I thought that me and my friends need some hangout time. So, like, I hung out with Iron Bull, which ended us going off with Bull's Chargers to form an alliance with the Canary. And then we got trapped and we had to decide between Bull's Chargers or the Alliance. And of course, chose the Chargers. And so now Bull is no longer part of the Canary. He is Tal Vasoth, which he seems sad about, but also is also happy about it. Like, he understood, like, you know, this thing that is who I am. I am also more than that. I think it was really cool. Colin's a dope addict. He's very sad about that. And I'm like, I support you while you try to get clean off the dope. And that's great. Varric and I are besties, and it's kind of great. What do you think about that, Matt? So there are 3 quests.
No comment.
So we have the quest, Well Shoot. It's not shoot, it's something else, but this is a G-rated podcast. So Varric's married girlfriend comes to visit him in Skyhold, and she's like, hey, someone has leaked the location of some red lyrium to Corypheus, and you need to stop it. Meet me in Valinmar. So Valinmar is that cool little dungeon in the Hinterlands. So we go there, and we like fight through it again now, and there's a bunch of like the bad guys there. When we get to the end, and it becomes obvious that she knows a lot about this. And in fact, her key to her secret door is where they were hiding. So it turns out all along she was the leak, and she wanted us to fix her problem, which Varric didn't like very much, but then also kind of forgave her because she's his married girlfriend. She also has been studying the red lyrium, which Varric was not enthused about. And she's like, wait. I did figure out what the red lyrium is. The red lyrium has the blight. And Varric's like, well, that's impossible because minerals can't get the blight? Only living things. And she's like, exactly. So, like, basically, if Lyrium can get the blight, then maybe Lyrium is alive in some way. They don't really break it down. It's just this cool thing that we learned at that moment, which is great. After that's done, Varric's like, hey, best friend, let's go play some cards with all our other friends. So we all go and we have a big Star Trek Next Generation like card table moment of Wicked Grace where all of our friends are there and we're all playing Wicked Grace and it's a lot of fun. And then Cullen is like, by the end, Cullen is just in his birthday suit because he has lost so much at the gambling. And Cole looks at him and he goes, wait, they come off? Because he doesn't know that. So it's just great. And then like at the end, Colin like covers himself and runs off to like stage left. It is absolutely hilarious. And then the last Varric quest I did was Worthy of Redemption. So you guys remember Worthy from Kirkwall? Worthy, that dwarf.
Totally.
That dwarf Worthy? No, neither did I.
Totally.
Yeah, so he was the dwarf that gave us our first enchantment when we first arrived. And then you never talk to him again because we have a better enchanter. Well, apparently he was super mad at Varric that somebody else got the job, and he's been the one who has been out to get him this whole time. And so we had to like take care of him and all of the knockoff books. Yeah, Matt.
That's the war table quest, right?
Yeah, so it's like 5 or 6 different war table things, basically.
Yeah.
Did the Cassandra Seeking the Seekers quest? With you, Storm Rage. This is one of the best quests in the game. A
Really
Crew of
good.
Adventurers is another war table quest line. This one's also fantastic. So a character, Donald Sutherland, that's Donald without the D, sees some bandits following one of our patrols. And he's like, hey, I think you guys are good people and I want to help. I have nothing and I'm nobody, but let me know what I can do. And so then you can basically like just be like, cool, dude. Go do this. And then he goes, does that, and he comes back with like a new mage friend. He's like, hey, we did the thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Great. And you go and chat with him, and then he's like, hey, I found this other thing to do. And you're like, cool, go do that. And then by the end, you fully kit him out, and he has a full group of adventurers himself, and he becomes like this big like to do on his own. And one of the last remarks is by Liliana, and she goes, Sutherland's crew has been exploring a misplaced city, horror-filled tomb, or Borderlands Keep. And basically it's allusion to 3 famous early Dungeons & Dragons adventure modules, The Lost City, Tomb of Horrors, and Keep on the Borderlands. So it's just like this fun little thing where it's basically you have your own group of adventurers. And at the end, he's like, hey, we got something for you. Here's some money to thank you. And you're like, no, bro. Go do this for somebody else who was in your shoes. It's just a cool moment. Did the Cole thing where we could choose if he was a real boy or a real spirit. I chose real boy. You get a whole bunch of Varric points if he's a real boy.
The great thing is, like, after this quest, Cole's tarot card changes, and like the real boy one is very school picture, and the spirit one is like, I don't know, it's just white.
It's the same picture, but it's either him like blindingly white or him just black. It's very cool. I fully upgraded Skywall. Am I forgetting on
Skyhold?
Skyhold. Thank you. I wrote on Skywall. Skyhold. So there are 3 things you can do to upgrade them. You need to get like some McMuffins out in the world to do this. So you can upgrade. I upgraded to a hospital instead of a training yard, Chantry grounds instead of a herb garden. And then the big one is you can choose between a Templar training grounds or Templar barracks. It's Templar barracks or a mage's tower. And I went with a mage's tower. I was like, we support the Templars, but the mages need a place as well that is safe. So I created a mage's tower where mages can study, and it's kind of cool.
How do you do that? How do you do any of these things that you talk about?
You just pick up reagents as you go. It's like there's a quest
I'll never do it.
going.
All right,
So
fair enough. Continue on.
These upgrade quests, those are the so as you're out and about, you find like quarries and you find quarries and forests or something like that, and you have to find a number of those, and with those you upgrade Skyhold. So
Okay.
we're not doing Blackwall right now, right? But okay, we can do a little bit. So
No,
Blackwall and I hung out at the bar, and he tells us a story about how he was a kid and some kids were being mean to a dog and he didn't stop them. And he was basically like, you're an incredible person. I am not an incredible person, and I just want to be more like you. And thank you so much for being who you are and showing me what it takes to be a really great person. And then you get back, and then he's gone, and that's awful. And we'll talk about that next week. I took care of some Red Templars in the Storm Coast, which is cool. Got to kill a dragon, which is lots of fun. And then I went to the Hissing Wastes and 100% of the Hissing Wastes as well. So this is a giant desert, Matt. You would love it. It's so big you have to use your horse to get around. They're just large expanses of waste that there is nothing.
Great.
You're just riding your horse through them.
That sounds amazing. I'm going to completely avoid
It's got a really great story in it, though. So you were there to stop the Venatorian Red Templar. They are doing some great, huge excavations. And it's like, why are they doing these? Let's go figure out and stop them because they're the bad guys. We're the good guys. The good guys stop the bad guys. So we go and they are excavating some kind of weird ancient dwarven ruins that are on the surface. What is that? Dwarven ruins aren't supposed to be on the surface, but they are. So apparently they're looking for some crazy, powerful dwarven weapon. They almost find it, but they can't because we killed them before they can find it. It is a crazy, powerful rune schematic, which is pretty cool. So the other part of that is figuring out the dwarven runes on the surface is all about. This is hands down, I think, the coolest puzzle I have ever had in a video game. So each one of these dwarven runes you discover has 4 different columns in it. And it tells a story about a father and his 2 sons who are fleeing from fleeing to the surface. So he is a dwarven paragon who created some crazy powerful weapon, and this crazy powerful weapon, which we know is his powerful runes, was used in wars between Tigers, and he couldn't handle it anymore. And he felt so much guilt. He took him and his entire Tig to his entire clan to the surface, and they created a Tig on the surface, which is awesome because that doesn't exist. So each one of these puzzles tells the story of this. So it's 4 different snippets of the story, and you have to read the story and put it in order. And if you put it in the wrong order, then like some demons attack and you have to kill the demons, and then you redo this, make sure you put it in the right order. Really cool storytelling device. So you get the whole story about the paragon who flees to the surface with his sons. He eventually dies of old age. The sons split the Tig up into 2, and they rule them separately until they have an argument. One of the sons kills the other in a duel, feels so much guilt to that. He then creates these places to store all of his father's most powerful things, and also tell the story of his brother. Really cool thing. It's also a dragon at the end, and you get to kill a dragon, which I also love doing. So got to kill a dragon to find that last story. So really, really, really cool. The Hissing Wastes are awesome. I've never actually completed the Hissing Wastes before. Really cool story behind them. I like that a lot.
Hello.
Whoa, wrong one.
Taste my
Right
grilled
one.
cheese.
Munch, munch, munch.
Hey there, what's our first good?
I just really like the overall story and how I think it'd be really, really easy for them to clearly paint any of the leaders in Orlais as like truly evil people, and then Celine as this like paragon of virtue. And that's not what happens. Like, Gaspard is not who I wanted to go with because I didn't want a military guy, but he doesn't seem like a bad dude, and
Nope.
he seems like he would be fully capable of leading leading Orlais. Maybe he'd want to lead Ferelden, who's to say? And I like that they made it a more interesting choice than just good guy, bad guy, try to save the good guy from the bad guy. I thought that was just really well done. And political intrigue, I think, is really difficult to pull off successfully because it's just hard to write that effectively, and I think they did pretty okay.
Yeah.
What's our not so good?
I've got the not so good. So there are these perks that you pick up. So as you complete certain quests, you get Inquisition specific experience points, and you can use these to buy certain perks. And some of them are very good, and some of them are kind of whatever. One of them is the short list, which gives you access to like special stuff at merchants. Basically all the best gear and all the best schematics are on this behind this short list perk. So I, do a bunch of stuff to make sure I get this. I go to the place where they have the schematic I want to get, and it's not available. None of them are available there. There are a lot of them supposed to be there, but none of them are there. So I Google it. It turns out that there is a chance for something to be there. So there is a list of so each vendor will have 20 bonus things on the short list. One thing is picked at random to be on that list. One thing at each vendor. And you leaving and coming back doesn't necessarily change it, even though I read online that it's supposed to work. Doing shutting down the game completely and reloading doesn't change it. Sometimes it does. So I was able to get it to change a few times. So I was like, this is insane. There has to be a mod for this. And there's a mod for it. And so you get the mod and then you download the mod and install the mod. And then all the shortlist stuff is there. But it's crazy expensive. It's 15,000 gold for the schematic. So it's not like it's cheap either. So what? It was just, why? Why would you do cool, have the shortlist, have it be crazy expensive. Why make it also random, completely? If you got this perk and you didn't when the game first came out, you would think it was worthless because you just wouldn't realize, oh, that helmet right there is the special thing, or that helmet schematic that costs 300 gold, that's the fancy thing. It's an insane decision, absolutely insane decision. What's our best good, Matt?
So back at the Winter Palace, you select your party, and every member of your party has their own little introduction, and it's great. Especially Sarah's. Sarah's is so good. It's so good I had made Dan record audio for it.
Are you ready?
Accompanying the Inquisitor, Warden Blackwall of Valcheven, Constable of the Grey, bearer of the silver-right wings of valor, the Lady Inquisitor's elven serving man, Solus. Her ladyship, my bulls each, of course.
Yeah.
It's so good. It is so good. That's the reason you bring Sarah to the ball. Also, Sarah is amazing at the ball. So
really funny. Yeah. Sarah just is funny at most places.
Yeah.
He asks each traveler 3 questions. 3 questions. 3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself
3 questions. Trip. That's for 3 trips for a triple question time.
Nice. I was like,
there we go.
Okay, Matt, what are you liking so far?
So my favorite part of the entire ball was actually just talking to my advisors, just chatting them up while I'm wandering around trying to figure out what I need to do. Gives you a really good insight into everybody. Cassandra is just bored. She's just sitting in the antechamber, just leaning up against a post, just bored. Can we get this over with? Josephine and Liliana are both in their element, and for different reasons. Josephine just loves it. She's this is where I live, and you get to meet Josephine's sister, which is even better. And then Liliana, she's just she's just over there sipping all the tea she can find. She's great.
And judging shoes.
Colin,
and judging the
judging
heck out of shoes.
Heck out of yeah, it's great. Colin's entertained, but he's just he's more focused on what he needs to do and making sure that Celine dies at some point. Because that was the goal. Anyway,
Colin was the best one because everyone was obsessed with how hot Colin is, and he wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Stormrage, what are you liking so far?
I really like how I think a lot of games would present this kind of style of uniting the country to try to find this in a very linear fashion of you need to go here. These people will ask you to do this thing. You do that thing, they're on your side. And I often prefer that, but I do like that they took a little bit of a different swing here of you need people. They won't tell you what they need. Some of the times you kind of need to figure it out and see who you're willing to give these things to in order to really lift them up, because you are in a you are in the ultimate position of power that are continuing to deny people rather than somebody that is on the outside looking in on power. And I just really like it. I like the overall story projection so far. Dano, what do you like it so far?
I love crafting. This game has such good crafting. Holy buckets. There is so much good crafting in this game. And it is the amount of hours I've sunk into crafting in this game, and the more hours I'm going to sink into crafting, because right now I only have myself fully kitted. Is fantastic. I'm not even done with myself, actually. I need to upgrade my bow. I think I've fully upgraded Cassandra. Vivian, I turned her into a full Jedi Knight by using the DLC heavy armor, which anybody can wear. But there is, because she kept on getting smoked in the front line with her Jedi sword. So I'm like, she needs some heavy armor. But there is a heavy, a metal that you can use that go down to any schematic. So I can use a mage schematic with metal so she can get bonus defense. So that's something I need to do as well. The crafting is so much fun. And then just like, it's great. And finding all the schematics that you want and the best ones and researching the best stats to get, so like crit will stack on your rings as long as you have different crit and amount. So plus 10% and plus 5% will stack. And I love it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Matt, what are you struggling with?
Keeping everything straight in Orlais. I don't know. I can't follow who these people are. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. Why didn't we go in with an actual plan instead of discussing it while we were there? That made no sense. And also the court approval thing also felt really unnecessary and and just added stress to it. I understand there's a certain threshold to get the best options. It just felt stressful and all the side quests felt really dumb. So that's where That's where I struggled with on this one. Stormrage, how about you?
Yeah, I just didn't like the amount of MacGuffins. I'm so sorry, McMuffins that were everywhere, and they're not only numerous, but they're also difficult to see. You have to use your search function. Some of them are in weird places. I would have been fine searching for a few, but searching for this many really, really was frustrating. Dano, what are you struggling with?
Same thing, right? Awesome story, but terrible implementation. Of some of the game mechanics. I think at the end of the day, it's a good part of the game, but when you really kind of break it apart, there's a lot to pull apart there. I think it's probably more good than bad, but because I think it's so good, it's easy to pick at the parts that are bad.
Yeah.
Matt, what has surprised you about the game?
So far, just seeing Morgan again. Just hey, it's Morgan. She's doing things. That's cool. That was about it. Stormrage, how about you?
It genuinely shocked me that Liliana was like, yeah, the Empress can die. What? You're from Orlais. You like the Empress. Yeah, but it's okay. She can die. And it's I am shocked and surprised. But I get it. It made sense from a character perspective. And I am now second guessing on whether or not I want Liliana to become my divine.
I talked about softened and hardened, right? You might want to look into that before you make a decision.
Yeah. Dano, what surprised you?
The replayability, to be honest. This is my third playthrough of the game. My second time wasn't a complete playthrough, but I played through most of the regions. I am having so much fun. I'm finding things that I could do better this time. I'm playing through on nightmare mode and having an absolute blast with it. The dragons, I love killing those dang dragons. Vivian and I duoed a dragon this last time out. Our other two party members got smoked when the dragon was still 100%. So Viv and I just took the dragon down ourselves, and it was an absolute blast. I just shocked at how replayable it actually is and how it doesn't feel stale. It's great.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Sell it to me.
Is that a song that you made up, or is that a real song?
I don't think it's a real song. I hope it's not a real song. It's not a good song.
I'm not super into like the current pop music, so maybe I missed something. I don't know. Storm Rage, sell the game to a friend.
Have a ball, stop an assassination, or not.
Mad at Arms, sell the game to a friend.
Perform a coup as a treat.
Pick a side, save the empire, acquire a jester. That's it for this week. Next week, we are getting bogged down in the hinterlands. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Thank you to our Twitch subs for subscribing. You can find links to our Discord and content information in the link tree in the description of this episode.
Oh, sorry. Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Nailed it. Yeah! Let's start an Inquisition, baby.
This is the end of this show. Everybody bye!
I forgot to mention my jester, my court jester.
You can do it now.
I can do it now.
Yeah, that's a good time.
That was kind of the point of the segue of me saying that I forgot to talk about my court jester. So when you did yours, Storm Rage, did you have to fight the Duchess?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
So did you decide to kill her there on the spot, or did you decide to judge
She
her?
got put into jail.
In Orlais?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you say that you want to judge her, she goes to Skyhold, and then you have to decide what to do with her. And one of the options is to make her the court jester.
That's so good.
And then she will be standing by your throne in a jester outfit from time to time. And she'll like say snarky, mean things to you.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's honestly my favorite
and
part of the game. You can also have her join the Inquisition, and then there's like some war table operations stuff that's available. If you spare her life, you can't later execute her at the Inquisition at Skyhold.
Okay.
But I think the Court Jester one is perfect.
Yeah, Court Jester is extremely good.
Oh, man. I'm genuinely shocked at how far we are into this game.
Right?
Yeah, we've been crushing it.
Yeah. What level are you, Storm Rage? Are you like 12, 13-ish?
I am 13, yes.
13. I wonder what level you need to be at for...
It says 15 to 18 on
15
the
to 18.
quest.
You'll probably get those levels while you're getting the points you need.
Yeah, once we get up to that one, which is...
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'll go through quite a few things, and it'll be great.
It'll be great. All right, cool. That's it for this week. It was another short one. Thanks you all for listening, and we'll talk at you again next weekend.
Bye-bye.
Aloha. I'm Man at Arms.
Boo.